Alyssan Up. Alyssan Up! Alyssan Up, your advocates. It is your host, Alyssa, on Alyssan Up podcast, and it is episode number 3. I am stoked for this episode, you guys. Tune in for the end because I will be confessing things on this episode to our interview guest, Tavia Ellis, that I haven't shared with, honestly, very many people on this planet. So get the inside scoop there. We are going to wrap up that midterm election from episode number 2, and I have a new segment for you guys called You Saw It, So I Got It. It is December 7th. Yesterday, we got the results, last night, this morning, we got the results from the December 6th runoff election. And guess what? Democrats showed up. If you're wondering why this was important, make sure you guys tuned in to episode 2. But the reason we cared about Georgia so damn much is because they are going to determine what the majority of the Senate was going to be. So the results are in, and Georgia won for the Democrat side for Mr. Warnock. Warnock's win gives the Democrats the 51st seat in the Senate. So before, they already had 50 at the original midterm election result. So since we have that 51st seat, that 50th vote to the VP is no longer necessary. So Democrats could pass something without needing the vice president to use as a tiebreaker, essentially. So it's about that time for your guest interview. I'll stop back in for more news though. And today we are going to be interviewing an amazing woman. This woman is named Tavia, and Tavia is a community leader, honestly, in the Toledo, Ohio community. She is a singer and artist. She is a creative director, and she is really a pioneer in the women empowerment space.
Thank you.
So everybody, please give it up for Tavia Ellis.
Thank you. Hello, guys. Like Alyssa said, my name is Tavia, and wow, all the kind words to lead up to who I am. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Okay. Yeah, I am so excited that Tavia is here. Tavia and I met through my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Tavia was pretty much recruiting.
Yes.
Is that what you would call it?
Yes.
Recruiting for the very first fashion show banquet that I've ever been a part of.
That I've ever hosted and been a part of as well.
Yes. It was called Role Models in Motion.
Yes.
It was focused on women empowerment.
Correct.
It was an amazing event. We debuted clothing lines from local artists, like clothing line artists, designers. I don't know why the word designers was so hard to remember.
No, it's all good.
Clothing line artists, come on. Designers in the Toledo community.
Local
and
speakers.
We had speakers, and they were all these strong, amazing women in the Toledo, Ohio community, really showcasing and empowering other women, their peers, and younger women about finding your voice.
The support that you have in the community.
Yes.
All the way
healing your trauma.
Yes.
That one.
That was great.
You know, when Christina Rodriguez was talking, I was like looking at my partner and like looking at her mom and just knowing where we came from. Like we were all getting emotional.
Wow.
So
I love that.
it really was an amazing, powerful event. And Tavia and her partners really put it all together.
Whew.
So my biggest question, you talked about how that was your first time hosting an event like that.
Yes.
So you're new to this kind of role.
Yes, director.
Why choose Role Models in Motion, and why choose Women Empowerment as your debut event?
Wow. Because it ties into, honestly, everything that I believe in, everything that I speak for, everything that I involve myself into. So role models, right? We have these celebrities that we look up to. We have these people who are constantly in the news, constantly in our faces. And like, honestly, their lifestyles don't agree with normal life, with normal values.
Like things that we would have in our day to day.
Exactly, because they're not my role model. Like, and in this society today, you know, I feel like everyone is a role model. Everyone who is claiming their voice, everyone who is doing something that's trendy in style, but also with, you know, intent behind it. And so when I had like Diana Patton, Christina Rodriguez, Lindsay Bowman, these are women that have impacted my life and the people around me. And so I really wanted to showcase their voice, because to be a role model, like, you have to do something in style. And so the role models in motion just ties into all of these different people who have important roles in our community coming together and looking fabulous, right? Because
we looked, let me tell you, we looked yummy.
Yes, it was honestly just amazing to see the role model designers in our community who take the time to come up with a design, a brand that represents maybe their heritage, that represents their culture, that represents their own style and swag. That everyone, when it comes to style, you have to step into that. Like, you're not just born and then, you know, since society hits you and then you're like, I have to find out who I am again because I'm wearing all of everybody else's crap. So to sit here and design a line off of your experiences and to share it and make a statement piece.
That's a platform. You're influencing people.
It's art, right? And art is influential because it pulls emotion and it, you know, now I can relate to what I'm wearing.
Yes.
And so role models in motion definitely set off the fire inside of me, because everything that I'll be doing moving forward is all going to be community-based, making sure that we have resources out there, that you know about the people in your community, so that you can start to look up to your neighbor, right?
Right. Look up to your neighbor, look up to your friend, look up to your peers in your community, instead of these big celebrities that have very little to relate to you on.
Yes. And even if they do, the social media platforms don't highlight that. You know, I don't want to take away the fact that these celebrities are normal people, but what we have made them famous for is a little bit different than my everyday walk in life.
Yes, absolutely.
And so
I loved what you were saying about every person, every peer, every sister, cousin, friend, community leader. Like, we all have influence.
Absolutely.
We all have influence, and Role Models in Motion was about taking that back. Like, we're so always influenced by like the news, media, all these things. So it's taking ownership of yours and realizing that we all have it. And then on the same time,
bringing honor to
it. And then taking back the influence that you've just been enduring your whole life.
Yeah.
Realizing that every interaction you have is influence on you.
Literally.
And being able to like make that boundary of like, I understand that I'm being influenced right now, and I want to take control of that influence.
Yes. Girl, you're hitting the nail on the head.
Yes, this is really so full circle for me, because I actually dropped my really good friend and I, Amber Ford, if you're listening, I love you so much.
Shout out Amber.
But she now owns, and we dropped together the brand called Your Influence.
Okay.
And it was literally all about the fact that we all have influence, and trying to act like we don't is silly.
Yes, that's it.
Trying to act like we don't is just really silly.
Oh my goodness.
So take it, own it, bring it back, and be empowered enough to use it for better. Like, every post, every interaction is influencing someone. So make sure it's like for the better of people.
Literally. And we don't have to be super spiritual to understand that we have an impact. And in this walk of life and in my business, there's a lot of challenges when you are a person who is learning and walking in an empowerment of yourself. Like, I have taken time to just honestly get to know my characteristics, and like, instead of running and hiding from it, which I've had to do that. And you know, you come up with these survival instincts, right, to fit in. But finally, as a 26, almost 27-year-old woman who was born to lead, I'm going to sharpen that. And so I see that interacting with people who have been in the game longer than I have, or who don't see the vision like I do, which is okay. They will try to challenge your confidence.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's subconscious for people.
Oh, all the time. Absolutely. I believe that.
But this has been a beautiful challenge because I have never been more proud of who I am.
I feel that. I feel that on like the core of my being. I have also like never been prouder of who I am. Like I really was really excited to bring you onto the podcast because I wanted to tell you that like after the fashion show, like no, so when I was on stage, that was my first time doing a fashion show, you guys. Like people were surprised to hear that.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely.
That was the first time I've ever done a fashion show, and I just, while I was on the stage, you know, I had practiced so much.
Yeah.
But then the second I got on stage, like all the things that you practice really just go out the door, and you're left with your muscle memory. And my muscle memory took me back to like third grade at like the talent shows I used to do every year when I was a kid. And I have 3 older sisters. And so every year when we had the talent show, it was a big deal, like in the family, because it was like Alyssa's going to have the most amazing performance. And all of my siblings were like cutting my music, doing my entire choreography. We practiced for hours, and we did this every year. And every single year I would get on that stage and forget everything. I forgot every single thing that I practiced, and I would just make it up. Wow. I would just make it up, and like when you're a kid, I was in gymnastics, and like when you're a kid, if you can do a back handspring or like do a flip,
you're in the game.
Like it's cool.
Yeah.
So I would just like do some jiggy and then like do a back handspring and then like dancey dance and like do a flip. And then I just had so much fun. So I was on like as a 24-year-old, I'm on this stage, and like the muscle memory that I had was like me at my talent show. And it was honestly like I told my partner about it afterwards, and I was like started to cry, and I was like, I think I've always been this person. I think I'm finally doing the things that feed my soul. Like I started crying, and I was like just having like, this healing moment because I was like, I'm meant to be doing what I'm doing, and I've never felt that way before. And it was so fun. And like that's how I feel when I'm like interviewing people on this podcast. Like I just remember like things I did when I was a kid, and I just feel like all like the core of who I am is finally showing through with my actual job and hobbies and things like Alyssan Up
and social group. So
I really have like you to thank like so much, because it really like healed like a whole like inner child.
Wow. Ooh, I was just having, and then I'll let you move on, but
no, yeah.
I was just having this conversation with these beautiful women. And, you know, we talk a lot about that traumatized child.
Yes.
But we don't ever really acknowledge that, that the innocent, fun, like authentic child that's still like there goofy, and still intact.
Silly, yes.
That curious, you know, just young,
wide-eyed, like
baby,
optimistic. Yes.
And in this field of work that has me putting myself out there.
Yeah. I mean, Tavia's over here making calls, getting sponsors, like reaching out to people out of the blue, being like, hey, here's my pitch. You're going to give us money or what?
Like, this is my event. And, you know, but to have conversations like that with organizations that are
you gotta
huge,
believe in yourself.
You have to pull from a place. And I found myself pulling from that younger Tavia, that bold, just unapologetic sweetheart that's passionate. And so, you know, I'm a passionate person. I think that's what makes people fall in love with, you know, working with me or being with me. So I hope this doesn't sound cocky.
It is true. No, it is not cocky. Listen. In general, all women right now can really just get their cockiness meter and crank that shit up. Everybody crank that shit up, because men are always so cocky and women can really crank it up. So no, there is no shame in hyping yourself up on a Listen Up podcast ever.
I'm just really
So
grateful
keep
for
going.
my compassion and my passion fire, because that has really sustained me through the hard days too.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
sure. So
No,
thank
I
God
think
for that.
that's a really beautiful point. And in her event, they were talking about how, like, we have to heal ourselves or else we, just carry that trauma with us. And, like, there's my therapist taught me one of those, like, things my therapist said.
Shout out to the
Segment, things my
therapist.
therapist said. Thanks, Renee. Really appreciate you. But there's this, like, I don't know if you believe in, like, we're all connected energetically to some extent.
Absolutely.
And we all have a vibration.
Absolutely.
And how it talks about how emotions have vibrations.
Their own vibration.
Yes,
Absolutely.
have their own vibrations. And there's the pretty much like hierarchy of vibrational connection to each emotion.
Yes.
And like the least vibrational and like what causes you to be at a really low vibration is shame. Shame is the lowest place you can go.
Shout out to Brittney Brown for teaching me
Brittney?
about shame.
You know Brittney Brown, bro?
Yes. I have like 2 of her books.
Yo,
I listen to all of her all of her TED Talks.
Tavia, we are really meant to be friends. Brittney Brown is literally a goddess, a queen. If Brittney Brown ever listens to Alyssan Up, please reach out. I would love to have you on the show. Honestly. Brittney Brown is an icon, yes. And I think she kind of talks about that, about how like
absolutely.
So shame and like making people feel shameful about things and guilty about things is literally oppression. It is literally oppressive. So you, on the flip side, to put on these events, you are literally taking people out of oppression. Like you are uplifting people from a low vibration of shame to the high vibration of peace and the high vibration of acceptance, happiness, like getting them up on that ladder so that minorities like women and other minorities as in general are not stuck in that shameful self-doubt cycle, So it's powerful. Like you have speakers on that stage and we're listening and we're like having these like starting accepting these portions of ourselves, because Christina said like, listen, I'm not blaming you, but I'm telling you like we have work to do.
Yes.
And her saying that was beautiful.
Yes.
And acceptance of like where you've gone wrong and acceptance that you did cause trauma or maybe endured trauma is a step up in the level.
Yes.
And like that's what you're providing to people.
Wow.
Like you're uplifting people quite literally.
Wow.
Quite literally.
Thank you. I honestly think that's all I can say is thank you. And I mean, it's really an honor to have the gifts to be in this position to honestly want to do more. I just want to do more. I just want to throw more events. I just want to share and love on the people in our community, because especially from Toledo, being from Toledo, it's really easy to get into a mindset of oppression. Like there's nothing going on here. And I'm like, I should be moving away and then coming back and then finding my community, the creative community, and then saying, oh my goodness, there's so much to do here. There's so many people here that care about what I do, or just care in general, right? Because sometimes you don't even think that people care about anything, but no, there's really amazing individuals here. And so it's like, well, I'm going to put my hand in everything and then I'll decide if I'm ready to launch out and do something else.
Yes.
But yeah,
and
anyways.
You do have your hand. It's your first break of news, a blast of news in a segment that I like to call You Saw It, So I Got It. You probably saw headlines this week that said something along the lines of Indonesia bans sex outside of marriage. So you saw that. I researched it. Sadly, it is true. But people in Indonesia want people to know that this law can only be reported by the police, by somebody who is an immediate family member of the person being reported on. So as a tourist, because that was the big concern, there are over 1 million Australians that end up visiting Indonesia, specifically Bali, in the high tourist season. So Indonesia was like, hey, what does this mean for the tourists? Here's what it means for the tourists. As long as you, as a tourist, don't have sex with someone who's from Indonesia whose family member could possibly report you, then they say that you're good. Another weird thing about this law is it also reinstates some language around there that you can't say bad things about the ideology of the president or vice president. That's like some 2009 reinstated thing. So a lot of people are saying that this Indonesian new law is kind of a twist between traditional values and modern values. And this is reinstating some more traditional ones. So the modern people are like, hey, we're not digging this insight into our privacy, and they feel like they have privacy rights to this. But that's your blast of news. So if you're planning on going to Indonesia, probably don't have sex with a local and stick to having sex with your tourist friends. Everything, because she also recently, was about a month and a half ago now.
Yes, a month and a half
she
ago.
released a single called Passion Flower. And honestly, like, if you haven't listened to Tavia Ellis's single Passion Flower, please do. She's hitting these beautiful notes. If you like Ari Lennox, if you like
Caroline.
Amber Mark, if you like if you even like people like Kehlani, and if you like female Jen Aiko, like if you like people like that, definitely give Tavia a listen, because she's in that vibe of peaceful but sexy and spicy, but love songs, but also like, we're gonna crank up the steam a little bit, like, so it's very like, it has the sex appeal, but then at the same time, like, she's just hitting these beautiful notes.
And thank you to Caroline for writing this beautiful piece with me, and this amazing creative space. She is she's awesome. She's so awesome. So just shout out to her for creating this piece with me and being on the song.
I'm gonna read a few lines from the song, okay? And you guys just like feel what I'm feeling. So imagine like Alyssa from Alyssan Up is just like looking at her partner, and like there's a little console between us. I'm just like looking at her and saying these words. The space between you and me is magnetic. Kinetic, dude. I'm having fantasies and daydreams. Then take a sip of my holy water. It's overflowing with your desires. Like, and you're just like singing this to your shawty, and you're just like, oh my God, it's so good. So the question is, everyone always wants to know with artists, what inspired these lyrics?
Oh man, I am blushing right now.
I know you and Caroline worked together on it, so you know there's part of her inspiration too. But what were you guys like thinking about when you're writing these things?
Ah, man, every woman, every girl has this fantasy place of falling in love and being in love. Yeah. You know, it's almost like a fairy tale land. For me, I'm going to speak for me. But me and Caroline, we have a really great bond. So I believe she's on the same page with this. But, oh man, it's honestly a love song. It's really easy. I'm a storyteller. It was really easy for me to just close my eyes. And after getting the concept of like, I want to express love to someone, and that's what I hope for in my future. And so I just know like I'll be connected. There's going to be like electric energy in between us, love, true love. And so that's what that first heart was for. But it, like, when you like someone or when you love someone and you think about them, you have a chemical reaction. Like, oh, absolutely, you literally feel that like going through your body.
Tingles, like if she's not tingling, then like, yeah, we probably won't go on another date.
Oh man, you know how I am. I'm so blushy right now. So I'm like,
no, literally, like if I'm sitting on a date, you can be sitting across from somebody and get the tingles, and then like she'll be like, "Hello, like is someone around?" Yeah, like I'm awake.
And it's in this, and for me, this line is just so complex because it's not just about the sexual attraction to someone, but it's like, it is that yearning, and you start to create this beautiful soul bond. And you daydream and you fantasize about a life with a person.
And that is manifestation.
Yeah, like, and when you get to that point,
manifesting, and you're using your energy internally, like it takes energy and food and calorie burning to have these thoughts. Like
that's a good way.
There's literally energy being used to like have these daydreams
And you don't
fantasies.
get like this with everyone. Like these are
No.
rare occasions where, you know, I come from the relationships that I have been in the past. I never really envisioned a future with them.
No,
You know,
same.
there's a lot of blockages that I had to go through. So now that I'm in this stage as a woman where I do want to envision a future with someone, and so it's just almost that hopeful place of I want to daydream about you.
Yes.
And so when it says take a sip of my holy water, it's an overflow of your desires. Pretty much it speaks in two different ways for me. The first way is the fact that I have done the work to purify myself, because holy water is pure water. And so God has really taken me through a process of like, all right, so I'm going to bring this up, and you're gonna work through it, and we're gonna cast away. And so there was a cleansing, a feminine cleansing that had to happen for me, especially from like certain situations. And so like that got me into a space of like, wow, I am desirable. Like I am a beautiful woman. I do have a lot to bring to the table.
Yes,
and so
you do. You do.
And thank you. And so that like I found like this girly femininity in me again. And so that kind of is where that line really took root. And then of course there are more hidden mysteries between that.
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
No,
So,
I just chose the ones that like I always feel connected to personally.
Mm-hmm.
So no, all the lyrics are just like that. Like every line is a bar. Like, you know when Kanye's like, oh, Kanye and Chance, and they're like, every line you'll be able to tweet. You can really tweet every single line of your song, Passion Flower. Is there more coming? Is there more Passion Flower from this passionate individual? Like, what is next with? I want more Passion Flower, please.
Okay, so I am actually really, really excited for my creative journey right now, because Passion Flower was only like the introduction to the way that I express my voice. I think leading all the way up into that, the projects that I put out were very catchy. They were very like adaptable.
Like
they're very
Infatuation.
fun. Yeah, I was like, you know, I want to try this. I want to try this. I want to try this. And then I started to really fall in love with my voice and my tone.
You can tell. Like I listened to, I was, you know, I do my research.
Do your research.
And I was listening to Infatuation. I listened to Passion Flower, and I listened to them back to back. And like you can tell, like just the way that you're owning and like I don't know, like propelling and like pushing out your voice is just so much more powerful in Passion Flower that you can tell that you're like, no, I'm the shit. No, this is my song. Like this is a banger.
This is an piece of artwork.
Yes.
This is I'm telling you, literally, me and Caroline in the studio, we recorded this song. We were drinking wine.
Oh, that's the best. You guys make me want to go into music just to hang out in the studio.
No, you can come to my next session. It's a
that
vibe.
Would be so fun.
It's a
I would
vibe.
love to.
We brought like incense and candles and a fruit tray. Like we were really we set the tone. And then so after we recorded this, I literally had to pull up on some of my friends. Like I pulled up, I was like,
you need to listen to this.
Popped open that bottle and I was like, y'all need to listen to this song. I was so proud. And so
as you should be. As you should be. And I remember when it dropped, the day that it dropped, we were like doing cheers, we were doing celebrations.
Yes.
I dropped it to get everywhere to play it. We were trying to get like the rooftop bar to play this song.
And they would not.
They would not. It was rude.
Okay.
They'll learn their lesson. Now they're going to be known as the place who refused to play Tavia Ellis' song.
I went to the Vibe Lounge after that, and I actually performed it.
Oh yes, because oh
drunk, but
but you were sipping wine.
I was, so
that's the best time.
It was definitely champagne tipsy and well deserved, because we were celebrating just the collection of Romano's Emotion as well.
Yeah.
But okay, so what's next? I am actually in album mode. I've been in album mode for a little bit over a year. And the reason is because I'm not in a rush. I have been learning a lot about my voice. I have been learning really cool ways to use it because I'm realizing my voice is an instrument, right? And so it's super fun because it's called Deep in Your Shallows.
Okay.
It's kind of a wordplay.
Album?
That's the name of the album. It's a play off of deep in your shallows and deepen
in
and
the shallows.
and then deepen your own shallows, because if you want to really get to it, we have this persona, we have the shallowness of our personality, and like this kind of takes you through an emotional process of how I kind of deepened my own natural persona, or wall, or whatever just comes. But so there's music and songs that are talking about my relationships, some of the closest relationships that I have, and that if you know me, it takes a lot to peel back these layers. It does, especially when it comes to my relationships. So that just shows my emotional work that I've done. And then also,
she's been healing. Okay, if you guys can get the message, Tavia's been healing her shit.
Thank you, God.
She's a born again. Like, come on, like.
And I love it. And so then also there's going to be fun songs where it's like love songs, of course, that very smooth, because I love jazz, I love soul, and it's more of like, I don't even know what to call my style, but it's soft, it's storytelling, and then there's like this powerhouse belting side of me that I never really tap into. So like that album will show that as well. So it's not going to be like a Beyonce album to where like all of her songs kind of tie in. So you know how like she blends
like so song.
This album is gonna literally be like my emotional state. It's gonna be like fun, funky, jazzy. It's just gonna be me.
No, I love that, because then like you get totally different vibes, but all in one album.
Yes.
Like you're really like supplying your listeners with like, hey, a one-stop shop.
Yes, literally.
Like you want to hear this, want to hear that. You don't have to flip to another artist. I got it.
Yeah. And
no, I like that.
So it's coming, and people will be able to actually dabble into some of those songs before the album drops.
So you're going to release a couple more songs?
Yes, I'm going to release, and I'm going to perform.
And then perform?
Yes, I am going to perform, which this is going to be dope. Y'all, this is, I'm super excited about my music. My music is my baby. Like, my music is for me, and to just have fun, to express. So I hope that answers your question.
It absolutely answers your question. So deep in the shallows.
Yes.
Okay. Deep in the shallows, everybody. Listen up, listeners. Deep in the shallows. Make sure you will listen up to it. And she's going to be performing this, and she'll be dropping some singles soon. Back to part 2 of You Saw It, So I Got It. You probably saw that Brittney Griner was released from Russian prison this week. And if you weren't keeping up with Brittney, I'm here to catch you up. So what happened to Brittney Griner? How did she get there? Who is she? So Brittney Griner is a fellow Black LGBTQ plus member. She's a WNBA star. If you are somebody who grew up playing basketball and you're a woman, people are probably like, who do you think you are, Brittney Griner? This is Brittney Griner. So Brittney Griner was in Russian prison for about 10 months, and she was arrested for, quote, carrying vape canisters with cannabis oil. Articles in social media say that she was targeted, though, because she was Black, she's gay, and she doesn't really present in the traditional woman way that maybe Russia, that is a little more homophobic, racially injustice, that whole vibe. She wasn't woman enough for them. But remember, for Brittney to go free, we had to trade her for one of U.S. prisoners who was a Russian, named Victor Bout. If you're wondering who is this guy and why was he in prison and arrested in 2008 by the U.S., I'm here to tell you. This Victor guy was arrested in 2008 in a hotel in Thailand, and that was the result of a 10-year hunt that the U.S. had. So he was arrested because he's one of the arguably best-known illegal arms traffickers. So Brittney Griner is home, but so is that guy. Take what you will from that. I do what I'm told, but bring spice.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So
exactly.
So you would still have the vision, and then
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see it. And it's so funny because I love hanging out with you because you bring out this quirky inner child in me. So I'm always cheesing with you.
My cheeks are always hurting.
Always. And like Alyssa, if you guys don't know, Alyssa's like really spicy with her like vocabulary, with her language. And I am like the
opposite.
I am the
when
opposite.
It comes to like the word choice.
Well, yeah. I am like the like reserved, but I have that. But she brings out like that spiciness where it's like,
literally.
So every time I'm always cheesing and blushing. It's just so funny.
I'll be honest, like I don't even try to be this way. I swear, like I don't know how to filter myself. That's really what it is. Like I honestly really honor that. Like sometimes I struggle with like the professionalism line a little bit because like I mean I remember being a senior in high school and like being in the principal's office and being like, well fuck that. And like I'd be like, oh I'm so sorry. I just I'm really passionate right now. Like
oh man.
So like I don't know. I just can't turn it off.
That's so funny.
Like, I don't know how.
You can teach me some things. I can teach you some things.
100%.
Yeah, because I'm all about filter. but it works really nicely when it's just a personal relationship, and then I get to express certain things of myself that I really don't unless we're in a room somewhere, the door's locked. I'm really kidding. I'm kidding.
Door's locked. We put like towels everywhere. We soundboard the whole place.
Check for mics. I'm kidding though.
And then that's when she's like, pussy.
And I don't even use that word, which is so funny. So it's like,
oh, you're probably one of those people like hates moist.
No.
You love moist. Moist is fun. Say it.
Pause.
Okay, we're gonna break right here and prep for the game. If that Victor comment kind of bummed you out earlier with our news segment, no worries. Because on Alyssan Up, we always leave you with empowering messages. Tavia Ellis is about to tell you all things that you can get involved in if you're in the Toledo area with some local organizations that help people.
But I really want to shout out to Mom's House. They are huge in the community for child care and helping women who have gotten pregnant, get back in school. Shout out to Taylor Kia, one of our sponsors for In Motion. They give cars away. They're doing a lot in the community right now, but they're doing Free Car Friday. So definitely go on their Facebook page and sign up.
It's at 12:30 p.m. every Friday.
Every Friday. Yes. Also, shout out to Toll House. Black-owned business by Will Lucas and his amazing wife, Angela. They're doing a lot of awesome things, creating a safe space for creatives to network and to just, be. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And I just wanted to shout them out.
Love the Toll House so much.
Yes. I mean, Celino's Fresh Produce, it's a family-owned business that gives wholesale produce prices. I think that's amazing. I mean, we have Collingwood Gardens, which just brings the community together, help to give you information on how to even garden and things that are that are eco-friendly or for our ecosystem. Oh my gosh. I mean, pretty much I want to let you know that Toledo is thriving in their community. If you want to know more about Toledo, I would go to toledo.com, which is your local connection. So if you want to know anything about shows, events, concerts, games, articles, places to volunteer, that's where I get most of my resources from. And yeah, I think that'll be it for right now.
Yes, Listen Up. We're still here with Tavia, and we are going to play Say Anything or Confess. So, Tavia, the way the game works is we'll just go back and forth and say words. So I'll say a word, and then you have to think of a word that comes to mind immediately. And you can't stumble or stutter or have a long pause. And if you do, and if it's not boom, 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 then you lose that round.
Okay.
And the loser, which we already wrote some confessions, we each wrote down 3 confessions. We haven't told each other the confessions. The loser has to confess something. Okay. So you know the rules?
I know the rules. Yes. Okay. Let's get it.
So you're going to start because you're the wonderful guest of Listen Up. So you're going to say a word, and I'm just going to We're just gonna go back and forth.
Okay. Pool.
Awesome.
Basketball.
Banana.
Shoes.
Levin.
Socks.
No.
Leaven bread.
Levin. I wanted to say 11. But like love?
Leaven?
Okay.
There's leaven bread.
Damn it. Okay.
Leaven. That's actually a word.
Levin. I like all of a sudden I always get accents when I'm nervous. I don't know why. That wasn't my confession.
Okay.
So this is a confession. I've always secretly wrote music lyrics. Like I've always wrote songs to like cope. They always have a tune, but it's never like, and I sing them to myself, but I've never
shared them.
I've never shared them. I've never done anything. Like they just stay in my journal, and that's it.
And like you lock it up. Like
I lock it up.
Place.
Yep. I think I shared one accidentally one time, in like middle school, and
so you still do it.
I still do it.
That's
I still do it
beautiful.
all the time.
Well, good for you. That's
Yep.
Some things are meant to be shared to people.
That's a beautiful thing to say about that.
Really?
Yes. Okay. Next round. I'll start this one.
Okay.
You can't repeat any of the words that you've already said.
Okay.
That's also a rule.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
Peel.
Mirrors.
Blue.
Books.
I want you to confess something. If you don't do any, you have to do one.
I'll do one. I'll do one.
Okay.
That is so funny.
This is
I'm
hard.
used to speaking in front of people, so like.
I mean, I feel like I'm usually better at this. I don't know.
It's so funny.
Okay, 1 or 3. Just pick.
Sorry,
3. Which one? 3. I've always kind of secretly liked bad smells. Like when something smells disgusting, like I
have to whisper that.
Like if something smells disgusting, I'll be like, I need to keep smelling it. Like at least like 3 to 5 times.
Yes.
And then like I think out of just sheer embarrassment and shame, I like just
say ew.
I'm like ew, gross. Like I move away.
But like I really collected like, every single like piece of that smell.
Yes.
Honestly, I can relate. Wow. Yeah. I like if someone farts, like if I fart, I'm gonna say not someone. If I fart,
I'm a smell.
I will smell it and be like,
I will sit. I will
that's
not move.
from the salad I had earlier. I knew I shouldn't have had cheese on there. No, but seriously,
mine will be like, okay, yeah, diarrhea is coming. Let's be prepared.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
you're gonna start this time.
Okay. Camera.
Banana.
Boat. Keep going. Just
okay. We're gonna redo that one. We're gonna do that.
Okay.
That was too early. Okay. Yeah.
Car.
Picture.
So what?
Lens.
Okay.
Banana.
Orange.
Key.
Fur. Okay.
Keep. That's such a weird word.
But I said
Keeper. Yeah.
So I'll just do it.
No, Tavia's gonna do one because come on. Listen up. Come on.
Okay.
You gotta do one.
Okay, 1 through 4, pick a number.
2.
Oh, thank God. That was honestly the lightest one. Okay.
What? No! I was so close to picking 1.
Okay.
I was so close to picking 1.
1 is hilarious. Okay, so number 2 is I don't even know how to put this, but I wanted to be a chef actually growing up. Like that was my career choice.
Wow. Like Le Cordon Bleu, like when those commercials came on, you were like,
literally,
oh my God, this is my life.
This is like, I thought I was going to open up my own restaurant. But yes, I actually like created my own cookbook. Now,
I need to see this cookbook.
Now, there's only like 10 recipes.
That's a lot.
But like, I have a binder and then I have like all of my favorite restaurants on there that it's kind of obsessive.
Wow.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Best restaurants I've been to. The restaurants, like every place that I go, I have like a go-to restaurant that I want to, explore.
Yes.
So I have that list. I have and like things that work well together.
You could make a whole like foodie like travel blog,
To
or
be
like,
honest, my favorite movie is Eat, Pray, Love. And so like that's
oh my
when I
gosh.
retire and have my free time, like I'm going to be traveling and I'm going to be oh man, trust and believe. I have a plan.
Oh my gosh. Well,
No.
thank you so much, Tavia. Tavia Ellis, everybody. Thank you
Yes,
so much for being here. Had a blast. We talked about her music. We talked about Passion Flower.
Yes.
Deep in Your Shallows album coming
Yes.
soon. And if you ever want to get involved with the creatives, get involved with the
Absolutely.
community,
I'm looking for talent.
just shoot Tavia a message. How would they get in contact with you?
So you can find me in a couple places. You can find me on my Instagram, Tavia Ellis _. Also, you can find me on my website, which we are restructuring right now, but it's inmotion.vip. If you are interested and if you have any skill sets, any talents that you would like to showcase and broadcast, you can email me at inmotion.viptalent@gmail.com.
Alyssan Up.